Welcome to the DGRN Podcast. Hooray, episode 5 of, I guess, technically 7. Y- y- LOL. So, we did, next 3 races have happened. We went through Kansas, Talladega, and Martinsville for both Busch and Trucks. Cup had a little too extra. They had Dover and Charlotte in addition to the races already mentioned. So I'm going to quickly go over the races, what happened in each one of them briefly, and then we'll talk about points and then give our thoughts on what's going to happen at Phoenix, which will be happening not this weekend, but the weekend afterwards on the 13th, 14th, I believe. Maybe 15th, I'm not too sure. We'll have to figure that out. That'll be pretty dope. And that's pretty much all we're technically doing today, is just going over each thing. We'll have an episode after Phoenix for, of course, Homestead, which will be on from the 21st to the 20... Actually, I don't think it's the 21st, actually, is it? No, it's the 20th to the 22nd. Anga. Alright, I'll take care of Trucks. You can take care of Busch since you were in said races. I think all of them anyway. And then I'll take care of Cup. So, starting with Trucks, Kansas was a pretty interesting, cool little race here. We had XLT battling for leads. Geo, I'm not sure if I was in it. I probably was, but there was a bunch of people that were doing a bunch of things. I believe that was like one of the last races Braden was in before he got trolled, which I'll talk about in a minute. Bill Fenn won the race, first career win. Was supposed to race at Las Vegas, like the first one, and didn't end up showing. I won it for him, but that was his first win. Pretty cool to see. Then at Talladega, we had more shenanigans. Stoutman got the pole from a random draw, and then making his first start, Matt, out of nowhere, first start, first win, gets the W at Talladega. XLT notably did not get any points really. Gio finished okay. He won stage 2 in that race, but XLT was never able to capitalize and just finished behind Gio all 3 stages. And Martinsville, technically Larkins was in the car, but we don't talk about that. Trinity takes the win. XLT got the pole again, another 5 points, but as you can see from how points look like, it hasn't really mattered. Everyone from 2nd to 6th are in a must-win at Phoenix in order to have a shot at the championship. And if not, if nobody from 2nd to 6th wins, or if Gio wins, Gio has the championship pretty much on lock. Best case scenario for him. 47. Oh boy, it's my turn, my turn, my turn. All right, Kansas. Very fun race. I enjoyed watching the Kansas race and being in it because Silent died, by the way. I guess I should mention that. He died in the Kansas race in the Busch Series. So he was out for 4 races, but that comes back for something interesting to happen at Martinsville. But Windows had a really good race. Red dominated. I'd say definitely deserved the win, but didn't end up happening that way. He got Wallglitch late, and it was me versus Windows, and Windows got the win. He got the W. He got his 50th career win at Kansas, so pretty big milestone for him. I'd say. And then Dover was a bit silly because a lot of people died very early in the race. A lot of DNFs. It was Kirst and Larkins at the end, and then Larkins just kind of won the race. So there was that. Red got the pole for that, so some good stuff there. And then Charlotte was very interesting. Another great, fantastic race at Charlotte, similar to the Coca-Cola 600. And again, another Ford wins it. Koval this time. It was somewhat of a statement win because Koval had decent speed at Dover until things happened. I'm not sure if he was there for Kansas, but if he was, I think he had okay speed there. Didn't really make things happen. Charlotte, he had great speed. He had an amazing speed at Charlotte and was definitely able to hold off Red there and was able to take the win. But from how many points back he was, it was going to be an uphill battle no matter what. So he was 209 points back heading into Charlotte. He came out of that 224 points behind. He won the race, but again, if you don't get the stage points and someone else gets more points, then you don't really gain that much. So a bit unfortunate there. And then Jablani Sprawley, first Cup start, he gets the win. It was a great race as well. Similar to the earlier Talladega race, definitely better than last year's Yellowwood 500, one of the best we've seen out of the fall Talladega races. Aiding out the pole out of random draw. It was fun. In like stage 2 and 3. But yeah. Final lap though, I'll talk about this briefly. Kirst and myself were in a chance to win. Kirst went down the block. He lagged at a worst possible moment so that he couldn't back out of it, and wiped myself and him out of any chances. Tony was there for like a little bit, and then it was just Jablani Sprawley for the win. And then Martinsville, winning your in race. Red got the pole. He looked really fast. It looked like he might have been the guy to beat, but Silent was really fast at Martinsville earlier in the season, so I guess a lot of people suspected that he was going to be extremely fast here in Martinsville, and he did not disappoint. Led over 100 laps, which is pretty insane. Was the dominant car of the day. Tony, I think, was the second dominant car, somewhat nearing the end once he got his damage, because he got damage in like stage 3 or whatever, or it might have been stage 1 because of the weird wall hit. But he passed inspection. It was just the front damage. It wasn't anything major, but even still, I think after that point, I don't know how Tony would have really done without that damage, because to an extent that damage definitely helped. But nearing the end, he looked to have a good car, and then on the final restart, almost jumped the start. The 89 got a better start than I did, and basically pulled away. Tony finished second, which, if he had stage points in stage 1, or at least better stage points, I think he would have been in contention to at least do something. But Red got much better stage points than Tony did overall, kinda, but just did enough to put him out of reach. So looking at points now, Silent has locked himself into a championship situation, which is pretty cool to see. Got Tony. The comeback is insane. You have Tony in third, must win. I'll have to go look back at footage if he raced the first Phoenix race and see how he did. But if he didn't, then tall task ahead of him. Windows, he's been decent at Phoenix, I think. So I think he might have a decent shot. And that's HP, actually. Yeah. Koval was really good at Phoenix at one point. I think Season 9 was definitely his best performance, but other than that, keep an eye out on this guy. And then Aiden, if he shows up, maybe he'll do something, because he's decent at lift tracks. He just doesn't show for anything anymore. So, yeah, that's basically the overview of everything. Now, Monkey, if you want to interview some people, up to you. Okie dokie. Do you want me to do it? You want to do it, or do you want me to do it? Dope. All right, Tony. Heading into Phoenix, obviously, you know what the goals ahead of you. Phoenix, you've ran there a couple of times. There haven't had the best success, but it's not one of your worst tracks. We can say that for certain. Just what's the mindset heading into next weekend? All right. So once we do practice and all the qualifying stuff, is there like necessarily a game plan as to how to go about the race, other than like winning, obviously? But like, is there necessarily a strategy to go with? Alrighty, that's Tony in the 77. His big goal is to win, and to win big. All right, you can take Oval. I'll wait for him to respond. But while he's doing that, I guess I'll mention. Oh, okay, cool, sweet. Um, some valuable input. I'll do it at the very end. I'm gonna touch on Braden for just a second here. Uh, some interesting things happened for this guy. He got banned essentially, not by me, but by Lark, and that man's not coming back. So there's talks into what's gonna happen to his spot, whether we'll give it to Sword, and then Sword can do something pretty cool, or if we'll just have him just not be a thing. But yeah, he's on Volcano Motorsports, so he might have someone sub for him, but I don't know if he's gonna show up. No, he didn't die. He got banned. To put it in very simple terms, because I think Cole can explain a little better. He was not having a good day. Cole was not having a good day, and Braden would not get off of his dick. So Lark took matters in his own hands and then banned that guy, and he's gone. Right? So, I mean, it's a Volcano Motorsports driver replacing another Volcano Motorsports driver. So Silent loses nothing. Uh, okay, I'll interview you, and then I'll get to Jasper Bess, who's supposedly opening a team or something. I don't know what he's doing. Uh, you are currently the points leader in the Bush series. The past couple of weeks have not gone to plan, but you are still in a decent situation as long as nothing catastrophic happens, God forbid, at Phoenix. Just you've been to this track one season before. Obviously, we're not gonna talk about it, but from taking that last year's setup, and then from the practices y'all have done today and a couple days ago, just what's your overall consensus of like how the race feel is going to be, the race vibe, if you will? One last question before we move on to the team owner type of thing. We have pit road limiters at Phoenix, which wasn't there last season, wasn't there earlier this season, if I recall correctly. So, with all of that in mind, do you think pit road is going to play a critical role, considering how low the fuel tanks are, or is it going to come down to what's going to happen on the racetrack? All right, thank you for your time. That's Monkey Got Hobbs, current points leader heading into Phoenix with one goal in his mind. Keep David at arm's length. All right, and last up, probably, we have Jasper, who says he's going to open up his team again or something like that. So, obviously, you've been here for a little while, for like a whole minute. um, I guess heading into next season, just signings is long ways away. So before even getting into signings, just what's the goal here? Because it could be the final season. I'm not gonna label it right now as it's the absolute final season, but for season 12, assuming that there's more seasons, what's the goal for next year? All right, fair enough. And as for you, we saw you have some part-time races in the Bush Series. Do you plan on having some part-time cup starts? Are you thinking full-time? What's the current mindset?
it depends really, because the talent level here, the skill ceiling has just grown substantially. Maybe you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but I'm hoping we can come back strong.
All right, and that was Jasper. Had some really nice insight for his Cup team next season. We'll see where it goes, and hopefully we'll see the 88 or whatever number whatever he decides to choose for his drivers back in victory lane, like old times. All right, that was basically the podcast. I don't know if the audio is doing a bunch of wild things, but I guess I'll figure that out later. If the whole thing is quiet, then it's whatever. You get the idea. Next podcast will be after Phoenix. So,
are we doing one after Homestead as well? Or?
Yep.
Cool.
And then we might have a few others after Homestead for type of Eric Estep type of updates. What? There's a new team. What? One more thing. When will JD return? Pending probably in the off season sometime. We'll see when all that occurs and whatnot. But my name is Zach the Digital. Money Got Hops was with me. Other people, David, Jasper. Silent was in the call with us. He's kind of just doing things. Tony,
shut up, David.
Genesec was also in the call. Koval was here as well. So
he left.
Yeah, shout out to all those guys.
Waffles
Shout
over
out to
pancakes.
everybody we interviewed. Oh, okay.
See, I told you he was here. That's about it. On the on the DG Motorsports Network channel, MGLC Yellow will be going live very shortly. We'll be at Glendale for our 7th round.
Don't forget to tune into that. Also, don't forget to tune in about a week from Friday for the truck race and the bush race, and then a day after that is the cup race at Phoenix.
Yes, sir. All right, that is all. We'll see